Good afternoon, you lunatics, and welcome to Pulido'S Previews. Are you ready? Welcome, everybody. This is day 3 of Comic Con at Home / Coffin Comics. If it's 3 o'clock, it means we're going to do Pulido'S Previews. So what the heck does that mean? It means I'm going to give you boils and ghouls out there the inside scoop on a couple of cool projects coming up. The first one being Lady Death Treacherous Infamy. And if you're good, and if I hear enough requests in the comments, maybe we'll give you a sneak peek of Hell Witch Sacrilegious. If you'd like that, let us know. Before we go, let me get my coffee on. My coffin coffee. All right, everybody. Man, here we are, Friday. Weekend coming up. I don't know what you have planned. Seems like a lot of bagging and boarding for me. Doing a socially distanced family get-together over the weekend and having like a little tacos. And I hope you guys have a good time too, and hope everyone's safe and healthy out there. Well, Lady Death Treacherous Infamy will be offered via Kickstarter on August 12th at 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Would you guys and gals like to know a little bit about it? Well, in this particular story, we promised the evil unleashed. And for those of you who've read Malevolent Decimation, you know we left off at a point, very interesting point, where Lady Death seemed to grab some energy from Johnny Devlin, and how is she going to use it? Well, what I'd like to do is show you some of the pages that we've been crafting. So this project is brought to you by myself, Brian Pulido, publisher of Coffin Comics, creator of Lady Death. It's co-written by Mad Mike McLean, illustrated by Diego Bernard, colored by Cece De La Cruz, and lettered by veteran letterer Marshall Dillon. So first, I'd like to show you pages 2 and 3. Take a look, and let me set the scene for you. See these unassuming Mardi Gras goers. They see something coming at them. And if you take it in, what they're seeing is actually Lady Death atop a Mardi Gras float with Johnny Devlin and Madame Midnight. And Lady Death has unleashed a demonic undead horde on Mardi Gras. So yeah, take a look at that. We did promise Evil Unleashed, and there is no doubt that there's no getting away from this horde. Page 1 is really cool too. I should show you. It's actually the shot of Lady Death atop this kind of smiley guy float. Really cool. So yeah, we did stage this story in New Orleans. The previous chapter was there. And I think Lady Death was planning on there being a lot of people in one place. And she stole Devlin's energy, and she actually used it to raise the dead, but then infused them with that strange energy from Devlin. And now they're just unleashed. And Diego Bernard, again, knocks it out of the park. Beautiful, lush colors by Cece. And we actually finished the lettering today. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. We finished the lettering. Colored pages are still coming in, but the book has been long done. Yeah, I like how that looks, like as if they're crawling out of the fog, you know. And in this one, we're definitely dealing with like ancient undead from the cemeteries of New Orleans. You know, it's not just like, you know, people who died yesterday, but people do get converted. Really fun. So let me see, what's the next page we could show you? Let me get my own little peek. All right, look, if you're sensitive to horror violence, this is not for you, so don't watch this. But here's Lady Death doing sometimes what she likes to do best. That's actually like the head of a local crime cartel. Runs into the wrong person. And again, yeah, take your time with that one. There's Diego Bernard pencils, CC colors. Yeah, if you're sensitive, this wouldn't be for you. Apologize in advance. You know, it's funny. It seems like on Facebook and other social platforms, you know, the realistic or imagined violence is more permissible than anything that hints at sexuality or the body. But yeah, that's another cool piece. Now, really, are you guys ready for the next one? So another promise, I think, that happens in this storyline is that Lady Death and Johnny Devlin are going to face off. So feast your eyes on this beautiful double-page spread. Really take your time on that one. You see Hellslinger and Char of the Greelum witness the beginning of this epic battle where Devlin is actually kind of transformed, and he now has this armor, and Lady Death is very into going to war. And if you look, you actually see in the background the float that Lady Death is on early on in the story is actually burning. So yeah, I think Diego Bernard really puts the time and the effort and the details into it. He's really good at capturing emotion and emotional moments, and we really call those out in the script too. There's a lot of nuance to it, I like to think. But yeah, just feast your eyes on the savagery of Diego's art and this crazy armor with the eyeballs. You know, Devlin has definitely turned into this creature, and it's really the first time in his life that he's exerted any measure of control over these horrible forces that have invaded his body. He's actually a gateway to what we call a devilish dimension. And it usually just exerts all sort of control over him. And here in this story, she's exerting a small measure of control. Now, what I'd like to do next is actually show you those same pages now colored. So these are the same pages now colored. And again, Devlin's outfit, you see all the poor people. The float that they were on early in the story is now just burning. Lady Death's taking particular glee. Now, like for those of you who read it, know that Lady Death and Devlin got together in a carnal way. And Lady Death actually forced herself upon him. And now, yeah, he's of no use to her. So this is a bad breakup, people. I love, again, the armor. And, you know, Diego Bernard is very, very good at three-dimensionally thinking through the construction of this armor and how it would work. It really does make sense. You could see all the different devils in there in his body on the wings that he sprouted. So this is actually very early on in the story. There's so many pages that would spoil the story. I could only show what I can show, but this is just the beginning of their battle. But yeah, Johnny Devlin versus Lady Death. What do we got next? Oh yeah, so here's more of a detail on Devlin and the transformation. So here he's sort of like surrendering and trying to control it. You actually see the metamorphosis where he becomes this other thing. And he actually is measuring some measure of control over it. We definitely call that the Devil Lock armor. He's a fun character. Yeah, tonally, he's probably the more serious horror character that I've created. Tonally. You know, in the past, I've created the male characters that have a degree of a comedic quality. But this dude, it's a tragic story, and he's really still in the middle of the tragedy of it all. But I guess, you know, there's no harm in admitting that Johnny Devlin / Devil Lock is a love letter to Devilman. I mean, I love to go into Guy's creation, and this is sort of characters in part sort of a tribute. I really am always fascinated by the energy that young adolescent males have, which, you know, you just like, you know, your testosterone is cranking, you're prone to anger, you know, really quick on the trigger. And a character like Johnny here is kind of espouses that, you know, trying to always control this kind of raging energy. We've seen it in other characters that we all love and adore, like the Incredible Hulk, that Jekyll and Hyde quality. And I've always enjoyed writing about that and exploring that, you know, that whole thing, you know, with a character like him, you know, is he going crazy? You know, can he control these forces? So I actually wanted to take a moment and see if anyone had any questions about this stuff. Maybe Jimmy, we could go over and check. I'll get my glasses and see if there's any comments. I'll take a look myself here. Thank you, Mark. The interiors get better and better. Yeah, thank you, Carmen. Appreciate that too. See if I could scroll back up. So, how do I pronounce your name? Is it Yelger Booding? I mean, I know we're pals, and I love your rock and roll style. I'd love to know. Yeah, Dan Mendoza gets it. Here, I'm going to see if there's any other. Ooh. Oh, I can't get back up there. Oh, well, I don't know better. Yeah, I think, I mean, yeah, as we vibe with Diego, we're definitely learning more and more. Hello, Scott No, how are you? Robert Bradford, how are you, sir? Candace, I'm glad you like those pieces. Yeah, and so that page, that comic actually is the next big chapter. We call that one chapter 12. You know, it's funny, we're already deep into production on chapter 13. Script is done, and Diego Bernard just turned in page 10. And, you know, I was just talking to Jimmy Calabrese before we went live, and it's like, here we go again. He's already 20% into the book. And, you know, what's great about working with Diego is he's fast. He's good and he's fast. So we're, you know, it's like a marathon. Like we're running to get the scripts done, you know, and then he's just like coming up, like powering through them and stuff. So I know as soon as I got page 10 in, which was today, I'm like, okay, we got to, you know, get further along on the plot for 14. And 14's for like next August. So another page I would like to show you. The final page I'm going to show you today on Treacherous is later on in the story. And there you see the character Insurrectus. So Insurrectus is our extinction level event character. And if you're following the story, and there is no intention at all with the hood for him to look like Cremator. And if you put the two guys next to each other, Insurrectus has got a good 1.5 feet tall on him, and you know, maybe 300 pounds. But there is, for people who are reading this stuff, this is the character Atrocity. This is Insurrectus. So a couple of chapters ago, there were these characters called the Trinity. They were causing ecological devastation all around the world. And really what it turned out to be was this was a siren song. They were trying to stir awake Insurrectus. However, in our story, Blasphemy Anthem, the Trinity were stopped in South Africa by the Sworn. This was this crew that came together for that purpose. And they were brutally powerful. However, pulling together all their powers, assets, knowledge, and latest lesson of leadership, they took them out. So, however, in the aftermath, their stirring expressions finally did wake Insurrectus. It happened on page 55, 56 of that book, and his brides were no longer there. So his purpose appeared to be gone. And in chapter Malevolent Decimation, he began to walk across Africa and decimate everything in his path. And he was looking. And then another mega powerful leveled creature, Atrocity, whom we introduced in Scorched Earth as having battled Lydia 10 years ago, woke. And in this story, those two get together, and you take a look, these massively powerful beings. Seems to be on a throne in a cave. She may appear to be with child, or dare I say, more than one. So yeah, that is going to be leading into the entire theme of next year's storyline. So yeah, Insurrectus, love him. So for sure, that is my love letter to Thanos and Darkseid. You'll see in this particular chapter his ability to absorb knowledge really, really fast. I love those type of characters. When I was a kid, I mean, I fell in love with Thanos. I say Thanos. People say Thanos. You say Thanos. I say Thanos. But I fell in love with guys like that, like early on, like in the 70s, like right off the bat. I'm like, this dude is so great. And then, of course, I learned about the original inspiration for Thanos, which was Darkseid, from Kirby's Fourth World. So I always love those types of characters. And I know Marvel has a couple other tries at it with characters like Apocalypse, or DC has the Anti-Monitor. So I wanted to have our extinction level guy, and that's Insurrectus. So I'm going to jump over again, see if there's any questions, comments, concerns about what we've discussed up until now. Let's see here. Matt is saying, OMG. And Jason said, that needs to be a print. I wonder which one. Is that a cover or interiors? Yeah, it's all, these are what we're looking at right now are all interiors. Yeah, his interiors are really cool. He's fun to write for. You know, I had that experience years ago with Ivan Reis, where, you know, we try to be really precise on our words, because actually Ivan was from South America, as is Diego Bernard. So when we write a script, ultimately that script is going to be translated. And to minimize the loss in translation, we try to go for simpler words, but we want the words to be impactful. You can imagine if there's words that are hard to translate, there could be something lost in the meaning. So trying to get these broad yet precise words. And Diego Bernard's another artist where I feel, you know, if we're really precise, he just gives us back so much more. And that's not easy. That's a real sweet spot. We had that same experience with Ivan. You know, I might say like, you know, big, burly, ugly demon. Now that'll mean a million things to a million people, but to guys like Diego Bernard, and we also do supply reference. I might do drawings, or we will find some reference that would be inspiring for what we're trying to get at. But yeah, I mean, Diego, he delivers the goods on that. So that gives you a sense of the quality of the interior of the work on Treacherous Infamy. And some of you may or may not know, we've begun to introduce the cover artist. If you sign up to our newsletter, you'll actually get the inside scoop. Just go to coffincomics.com, upper right, sign up to the newsletter. We send out like new news every Monday and then throughout the week. But we announced Mike Mayhew as our legend tier artist. And Mike did a bang up job. 3 versions. You got the quote unquote nice. You have the spiderweb naughty costume, and then his beautiful sketches. The other thing I wanted to do today would be to show you some of the additions that we were making here for Treacherous Infamy. And then again, if I hear enough comments, maybe behind those question marks over there, Jimmy, if you could show people, that maybe some pages for Hell Witch, Sacrilegious. Coffee, 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 coffee. We are definitely, I think I could say this, we are a company that runs on coffee. I don't think there's anyone here, I don't know if there's anyone here who doesn't just adore coffee. Let me check comments one more time, and then I'm going to start showing you guys some of these new additions. Let's see here. Thank you, John Smith. I'm glad you like it. I really love making characters too. So Brian says your interiors are better than most companies' covers. Thank you. And Carmen, you still haven't seen the metal cover. That's right. There's a lot of covers you haven't seen yet. And Jason Coates is recommending the newsletter. We totally appreciate that. Hell Witch. Yeah, man. Yeah, yes, Carmen, we will definitely, we got a lot to show you. I think we realized too, we're definitely going to do a formal presentation of everything related to Treacherous on August 5th. But leading up to that, we're actually just going to keep showing, because there's some cool stuff. I mean, we're doing a new hardcover book. We're doing some apparel. So we're doing the hoodies and T-shirts for coffin ones. So yeah, I mean, we figured we might break this up, because it's like we're going buck wild again, as we do. I was telling people, it's like, whoa, man, the mystery envelope, that list of artists is so radical. It could be its own preview show. It's just crazy. The thing is, what happened this year is I got in so much tremendous art, like really, really amazing art. And it'd be a shame not to present them. But on the crazier side is, in our mystery envelope, we got guys like John Boy Myers, and his editions are limited to 50 copies. That's like John Boy Myers, like you know, but we have to get them out. We have to let you see them, and crazy. Anyway, so without further ado, I'd like to show you some mock-ups of some covers. First up is the main. So this would be the main one, and you might notice that right there is a green logo. Well, it really won't be green. If we reach a certain stretch goal, we'd love to turn that into a silver foil logo. But this is the main cover of the premiere edition by Diego Bernard and Cici de la Cruz, and I love it. Yeah, and if we're lucky, blast through one of those stretch goals, unlock it, and turn that green placement into a real live silver foil cover. Next up, boom, this is the homage cover this time. It's called Super Death. Super Death by Stephen Butler, colors by Dan Feldmeyer, and graphics also by Dan Feldmeyer. So Super Death. Looking at. So Jeffrey Stan just said, we need a Lady Death cover by Tim Vigil. Actually, Tim did one about 5 years ago that we had at a Emerald City Comic-Con. And Brimstone loves The Office. Thank you. Right on. So yeah, Super Death. Love to know your feedback on this one, how you feel about it. This is an homage to a very old Golden Age comic book by the name of Superman. In our scenario, she's actually in the Hell City Dis. And we're saying that is 666 pages of insanity. Of course, we're being silly. I thought Super Death was a funny name. Super Death. And that's the homage. And then here is our cosplay cover. And this is the returning champion, Ireland Reed. So Ireland is a good sport and a good ally. And Night Owl Photo returns as the photographer. And I think this particular edition, you could see that new evil style Lady Death logo. Really focused on that one. And we're doing that just to help better demonstrate the fact that Lady Death is just straight up evil. Candace, thank you so much for liking Super Death. Jason, you too, man. Yeah, Ireland is very, very talented, super cool. Yeah, this one turned out really, really rad. And of course, she's in a coffin. What's there to say? Now, it's fair to let you guys and gals out there know in advance that I think people have enjoyed the cosplay covers. So stand by for an announcement related to that during Coffin Comics Crucial Con online September 24th through 26th. Now, you guys and gals out there may remember in March, we did our first ever online con, which was called Coffin Comics Con Online. And it was bananas, and we had the time of our lives. We had canceled Emerald City, and 48 hours later, we just cooked up this crazy scheme. Well, we feel as a company that we've learned a lot since then. So our next expression of doing an event online is going to be at Crucial Con. So as usual, expect the unexpected, but also expect like a serious effort at Crucial. A lot of announcements. The reason why we're calling it Crucial is there'll be a lot of announcements related to 2021. And just expect the unexpected. Expect a lot. I don't want to oversell it, but expect a lot. Let's see here. Okay, Scott knows liking it. Carmen saying she must do a Hell Witch. I think that'd be great. You know what would be really cool is if anyone can mention this to Ireland, I think this would be a hoot. Ireland Reed to do a cosplay cover where she plays Lady Death and she also plays Hell Witch, and it's a battle cover. That would be cool. And then it could be stitched together. But yeah, thanks again to Ireland. Got to meet Ireland at New York Comic Con. Super cool. She was Elvira when we saw her. She did a great job, as you can imagine. So thanks to Ireland. Really appreciated her first cover. People adored it. And this one is really neat. And yeah, what is there to be said? All right, so what do we got here? All right, so check this out. This is a mock-up of the hardcover. So it's not really the hardcover. It's a comic book mock-up of it. But here, let me take it out of the bag. Jimmy, let's just look at a skull or something for a second. All right. Whoops, let me arrange this nicely. All right. So this is the mock-up of the hardcover by Sun K. So this is the hardcover by Sun K. And Ladis got her classic energy, and she's got this classic hair, endless hair. She really gets that attitude and that face. Miguel, I like your idea of the connecting cosplays. Brian, your birthday's on the 25th. That's rad. See, I would think Sun K did a bang-up job on this one. And we appreciate it. She is hard at work on several other neat cover images for the fall. And we really appreciate her work. She's been contributing to Coffin Comics for about the last 5.5 years. And she's really having a great year. And the work is really, really connecting with people. Next up, check this out. This is the holofoil edition. I'd love some feedback on this one. So this is Kenneth Rockefort. Kenneth is mainly known for a lot of work with the major publishers like DC Comics. And this is an unusual color palette, admittedly, for our books. But Kenneth is known for his extraordinary detail. Let me take this out of the bag. And obviously the nature of the holofoil is highly reflective, but the detail is really outrageous on this one. So yeah, just let us know in the comments how you're feeling about that one. Kenneth Rockefort, his first ever. Yeah, that hardcover would steal somebody's heart. Jason Coates is digging the Sun K work. Thank you, Matthew Davis in the house. Yeah, so Kenneth Rockefort, I like that piece. I think he did a great job. Really happy he accommodated this request in the schedule. So the next up in our preview is actually the jeweled editions. So give me a minute here. All right. So this is Shannon Mayer, who did the cover, and we're turning it into a jeweled edition. What might be interesting this time around in the jeweled edition is Shannon is going to do all kinds of variants of the jeweled. So this was 1. This is 2, and this is 3. So we're not exactly saying, but it's close to a no two alike kind of run. I'd imagine there'd be a small amount of duplication, but there's just going to be a different approach on each one of the individual covers of the jeweled edition. Yeah, I do think we have extra purple and green on that holo. That green background is very new for us. I'm glad. Okay, great. Thanks. I'm glad you guys like that holo. Candace, you do need that jeweled edition in your life. So that's Shannon Mayer. This is Shannon's second Lady Death cover. He did one under the cover of Night several years ago. And very quietly, that's become a very in-demand comic. So Shannon Mayer, very popular, does a lot of variant covers for the comic Mint. I am a big fan. Yeah, definitely let us know how you feel about that one. So Brimstone is asking if I'm a Superman fan. And look, I'm a comic fan. I mean, Superman's great. I'm also a fan of the imagery. You know, you can't deny that this is an iconic image. And I mean, even the composition of it was amazing that these guys came up with back in the 40s. Amazing. Superman 1. So that's like early 40s. Pretty incredible stuff. So yeah, I like Superman solidly. A lot of people know me. I'm a real Captain America guy. I'm a big Marvel guy. I do like a lot of I like a lot of what you'd imagine I would like, to be honest with you. With DC, I like the Spectre, Phantom Stranger, Dead Man. I'll read big crossover events that they do too. And I've enjoyed a lot of Superman runs. For example, I really adored John Byrne's run. He had his Man of Steel run, and then he was doing Superman in Action. And I really liked his run on Action Comics, and I've reread it recently because there were a lot of team-up books. So I just read a little micro run where he teamed up with Big Barda, or, you know, they had a conflict, and the same thing with Mr. Miracle and the Demon, because I like Kirby stuff. So yeah, I do enjoy Superman. He is a very difficult character to write, I would imagine. I've actually talked to some of the top Superman guys. I think a guy like Dan Jurgens is just spot on as a Superman writer. And I've talked to other top guys, and he's not easy because he's so powerful, really. Captain America really is the sweet spot for me. I'm going to quickly check the comments. When will we be posting direct deposit info? You're funny, Scott. If you had a dream pick of who could play Lady Death, who would you choose? Any more lenticulars on the horizon from Craig? Craig, be patient. I'm going to show you something you might like. The Super Death reminds me of the old theater house posters. Yeah, I mean, I think it evokes that time. And Brimstone likes it. Fire! Okay, speaking of lenticular, let's get right into it, shall we? So, last time around, we did our first ever lenticular cover with Dawn McTague, and that featured 2 images. So this time we wanted to do something different. So this time, it's very hard to approximate this, but I want to show you. So this time, we're working with Mr. Mike Chrome, and we're doing a 3-part lenticular. And what you're looking at is, in the leftmost cover, there's Lady Death sort of in repose. And then in the second image, you see a storm coming. And then in the third image, she lifts her sickle, which connects with the storm and reflects an abundance of energy. So those are the 3 images. You'll also notice that her logo goes from large to medium to small, and the colors change. So I am hoping that during the campaign, I will be able to show you the samples of the actual lenticular. The lenticular is going to pre-press on Monday, and hopefully we do get that sample back, and we could kind of show you. It will be what's called a left to right lenticular. So yeah, please give me any kind of feedback you have on that lenticular. Let's see what you got. Yeah, Candace, you love Dawn. I think we all love Dawn. Yeah, and I mean, so this is Mike Chrome at his finest, colored by Sanju Nivanjun. Mike Chrome just gets Lady Death. I mean, what else is there to say? He's another phenomenal contributor. In fact, I mean, we recognized his contribution in our last Kickstarter campaign in a book called Lady Death Masters Mike Chrome. You know, a real humble guy and just a tremendous, tremendous talent. See if I get any feedback on that one. So Scott's saying it would make for some good motion. I think so. That was the premise. And yeah, so Tyler, you know, maybe. So like someone we know is Johnny Devlin going to get a sidekick? You're a madman with that triple image magic. Heck yeah. All right, so Robert Bradford is asking, is Johnny Devlin going to get a sidekick? Well, let me answer it in this way. Johnny Devlin's story in Lady Death is actually 3 years after he became this thing. And we're actually going to tell that particular story. So it's his origin. The name of the comic is Devilock Evolution. It'll be a 2-chapter book, and we're deep into the writing of the production and haven't really chosen an artist. You know, we're just making it right. However, I guess Robert, partly what you're asking is, will there be other kind of male horror heroes? And yes, there will be. So the next male horror hero that we're introducing will be in Lady Death Chapter 14, which we'll be offering to you February 2021. And that story is called Catastrophic Majesty. Now, it's a whole different tone, but you're going to see a great expansion of the coffin verse. in that particular one. And in that, we're going to actually introduce to you a new male horror hero. And what I think distinguishes that character is there is a bit of a comedic quality to him. I think people like that kind of jokester quality, that Mad Hatter quality. And I don't know, I'm trying to figure out what I should and shouldn't say about this guy. But to answer your question, Robert, just more cool male horror characters to come. You know, I've been talking to Francisca. Francisca gets to hear about all this stuff. And we were walking the dogs the other day, and I was expressing about this next character. And she said, you know, I think you should spend a little bit more time on that character because when you speak about him, you really like him. So I know that that's coming too. So yeah. So we're going to check our time. Okay, we're at about 37 out of 45. And I just want to do one more check to get some feedback on the covers. And then maybe, just maybe, if you're good, I'm going to show you some more previews. So where's the Witchman? Rob, it's coming. And so, okay, so Leon Akalife says, it's been a long time since I read Lady Death. Where do you recommend I start? Well, what I recommend that you start on is storyline we call Chaos Rules. So if you go to our shop, which is at coffincomicsshop.com, and in the search, just take a look at Chaos Rules. It'll explain it. And if you want to get a better sense of the stories and the order that we present them in, just go to coffincomics.com. You'll see a search term called a bar called Coffinverse. Click on it, and it actually explains the reading order of all of our current most material. So let's see, what else did I want to say? I think I wanted to sip my coffee again a little bit. Without further ado, would you guys and gals like to see some Hell Witch sacrilegious pages? If I see 3 yeses on the comments, we're doing it. If not, I'm just going to like hang out like this. So let's see. If you guys want to see some pages, we have about 5 minutes left of the preview. Let's see here. So yeah, Rob, you'll definitely, this is early on in the previews for Treacherous Infamy, so we will see a Jesse, will we see, oh yeah, you'll see a Jesse Witchman. Yeah, this is just part 1 of 3. All right, Candace, you got to run. Cool. I'm standing by, seeing if we're going to get a comment. Let's get a comment. Check out HQ, folks, if you haven't seen it. Cool hallway down here. The Hall of Fame. Okay, so we definitely got a bunch of yeses. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Okay, super cool. Let's check it out. So, all right, are you ready? So, through luck of the Irish and the mad machinations of the comic gods, we were blessed in an unholy manner to have veteran Pulido, creator, contributor, and phenomenal talent onto his own, Mr. Ed Bennett, sign on to do Hell Witch. I'm happy to say that yesterday he turned in page 30 of this particular story. So I'd like to show you some of the pages. So please luxuriate in the gorgeosity of Ed Bennett. This story is written by Brian, myself, and Mike McLean, illustrated by Ed, colored by Cece, and lettered by Marshall. And we do have a host of wonderful cover talent. I worked with Ed in the 90s on comics like Chastity and Vandala. I remember it was Chastity, Lust for Life, and then Vandala. And yeah, his stuff, I'm like, I mean, he looks like, today, he looks like Ed Bennett meets Mark Silvestri, you know, all the cool lines. This guy's such a veteran, he could just do so much. I just love how he moves the figure on a page too. Just makes it super exciting. So, and now, here are pages, so that's page 1 of the story actually. Now here's pages 2 and 3 of the story. And love to get your feedback on these. So this is starting with a double page spread. For astute longtime readers, that character that's bitch slapping Hell Witch is Atrocitas. So Atrocitas is back. He was actually featured in earlier chapters of Lady Death. It was chapter 3, which is Extinction Express. And he is an angel-demon hybrid, and he is most definitely insane. So June Bell's liking that double-page spread. I'm glad you guys like it. Oh, Carmen, so Lust for Life was your favorite story. That's pretty cool. Yep, so that's a gorgeous double-page spread. What a way to start a Hell Witch book where she just seems to get her ass whooped. Look, Landon, unbelievable. How dare we do that to that character? There's always a little bit more to meets the eye with Hell Witch. So, but yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. Every strand of hair and just all the technique. This is I mean, look, I guess I could tell you, Sacrilegious actually is the majority of the story takes place in a prison in hell. Hell yeah. About 4 minutes left. See what else anybody has to say. June said, holy shit, we got some holy craps. Someone had an art orgasm. And Carmen likes Ed Bennett as well. It's cool. You know, it's kind of cool too, man. I mean, I just sort of been blessed in my career to work with truly phenomenal talent. I mean, it's one of the great pleasures of comics for me. I'm a fan, but as a creator, it's just cool to get these pages in. Just the way, I mean, I think you guys and gals out there get it the way I get it, which is to get these pages in. It's just so delectable. It's like, stop what you're doing. You know, I have to look at it with two minds. So I have to look at it as a fan of it and being excited to receive it. And then I actually have to do the basic administrative work where I receive a page and I check it against the script and make sure that we hit all the notes that we had to, or I have to communicate, hey, could you change this? Could you change that? And thankfully it doesn't happen that much, but yeah. So here, check out page 4. Again, beautiful work, gorgeous work by Diego. And there's, so yeah, poor Hell Witch continues to smash through all these buildings, and you know, she's just sort of licking her wounds. And then Atrocitas lands almost to deliver the killing blow. She slams some energy at him, and he so easily stops it. So that is just a tantalizing preview of what's to come. I guess with that 4-page preview, where we're leaving you is, you don't know where it's going, right? And that's the beginning of the story. I kind of liken it to, remember Rocky 3? The beginning of Rocky 3, you know, Rocky's on top of the world. He thinks he's the man, and Clubber Lang comes in. It's like, boom, boom, boom. It's like, Rocky's like, what? So he's got to wake up and see what the heck is up, kind of retool himself. But yeah, so Hell Witch Sacrilegious will be available, offered via Kickstarter in October. Now, look, you might know this. Hell Witch is a little on the edgier side, and I think we've taken, by design, we've taken the violence and the nudity and the sexuality, all of it to like another level. I mean, it is a women in prison story, so if that's not for you, do not get it. But if it's the sort of thing you might like, it's going to be for you. So I blame Mike McLean too, by the way. So. Folks, here we are, last couple minutes. Please be sure to be back in 15 minutes when we open the vault. The vault will open for the final session for Comic-Con at Home online in about 17 minutes. But in conclusion, what I'd like to say is thank you so much for tuning in. I know you guys and gals are out there in all different parts of the world. Here we are Friday. I hope this finds you safe and this finds you well. And I hope that this was entertaining for you and that you like our wares, because it's so much fun to present it to you. And you know, thank you for opening your doors and your heart to the madness that is Coffin Comics. You've been great. I've been Brian Pulido. Holla at you in 15 minutes.